Right now, bring you the latest as we get it. Reports, gunmen, by the way, were yelling Allahu Akbar. We heard these accounts from many of the staff and the restaurant goers that were able to storm out of that bakery in Bangladesh, those that were able to escape. We are getting some of their accounts, sparking new questions as to whether or not we are doing enough to fight Islamic terror abroad and right here at home. To Pinal County Sheriff Paul Babeu. Sheriff, your thoughts first on this latest attack that we are learning about. ISIS has taken responsibility for this, although some accounts of Al-Qaeda taking ownership of it as well. We're still waiting more information on that, but your thoughts so far?
Well, this is not going to end. The security posture, not just for America, but for any free nation in the world, is under attack. And the people who are going to have to deal with this is men and women that are dressed in uniforms like mine, your local police, your sheriffs across the country. And we have to start, as a nation, be more aggressive in defeating ISIS. These are radical Islamic jihadists who have stated to the world their intent is to kill. And when they take hostages, guess what? The only way out for them is death. And so we see this time and time again playing out with these active shooter scenarios and these explosions. In this case, they used not just guns. They had 9 gunmen, and they had machetes as well. They're not going to be taken alive, very likely. And we saw this down in Orlando, active shooter scenarios. We're trained here in America to go and aggressively attack, just like in a school shooting. We learned this in Columbine, and all those questions haven't been answered in Orlando, quite frankly, how that shooter could have gone on for such a period of time, double tapping and killing people who were wounded without law enforcement aggressively going in there and killing the assailant. So here at home, we have to be more aggressive in law enforcement. I've said to citizens in my county, don't be victims. Get training, protect yourself, protect your family, because there's not a cop on every street corner, in every restaurant. And
Sheriff,
my God,
can you give us an idea of what's happening in this rescue situation right now when we know that the staff of this restaurant, the restaurant goers that are being held hostage in there right now, the rescue effort is underway. As we saw in Orlando, the police played an integral part in attempting to calm that gunman under the hostage situation. What is that effort like?
Well, you're seeing you have 9 gunmen that we believe that are inside. You already have 2 police officers who have been killed. Yes, negotiation will take place, but the likelihood of talking these people down when they're screaming Allah Akbar, which in Islamic means God is great, they're on a mission here, and they're going to meet death. And so very likely this is going to end badly. And so law enforcement, in terms of tactically forcing the situation to try to rescue as many civilians' innocents as possible.
Sheriff, and you said that your teachings here and our teachings in the United States is to storm an attacker like this in this sort of situation. But local media are reporting that, that there was 9 of these 9 gunmen that entered this restaurant. They opened fire. They set off bombs. There's accounts that they immediately took people hostage, holding staff and the restaurant goers hostage. We still obviously are waiting on any identity of these men. They're described as under 30, slim, but 9 of them, and they were heavily armed. It's hard to imagine restaurant goers storming a group of 9 men coming into your restaurant like under that circumstance.
Well, I'm saying not the civilians here, but certainly law enforcement, and that's what we're trained. If there's you and I as cops and we show up on scene, we're going in, especially when it's an active shooter scenario. When it's a hostage situation, the tactics are a little bit different, but this isn't a normal hostage situation. These are situations where their whole intent is maximize the casualties here. And so the civilians, just like here in the United States, my state, I can tell you, violent crime has gone down in a lot of areas just because we can carry open, we can carry concealed, and we don't need the permission of anyone in the government to do so. And so this is where don't be victims. And so the same way on airlines. Never did we ever imagine that we require airline pilots to be concerned with other than flying the aircraft. And now every time I fly armed, I have to report into the pilots, and they say, Sheriff, I'm armed as well. And thank God for that, because we're not going to be victims.
Okay. All right, Sheriff, thank you for joining us on this breaking
Absolutely.
news. All right, well, their private meeting in a parked private plane causing a firestorm. The Attorney General hoping what she